training.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Nick Hunter. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank
We
you.
have 5 days of you this week, which will be awesome, about vertical schema design. So
Yes.
that'll be interesting. We do this 5 days a week. This free stuff 5 days a week on 3 different streaming platforms. But if you would like to pay for our subscription for video training, it would be much appreciated. For people who have bought it, thank you very much. For people who are like, why would I? Basically, there's two reasons. One, you don't like our stream format. We do hour long, sometimes a little longer, streams on a variety of topics. We keep things conversational, and we also allow the community to some extent to dictate the direction of the stream. So even if we say we're going to cover a very specific topic, that doesn't mean necessarily it'll get covered. Videos, on the other hand, are pretty much exactly what we say they are. It covers exactly what it says in the tin. There is no way to distract the presenter in any sort of way or interact with the community, which means that one, your questions won't get answered, but two, it means that the conversation is very focused. And the streams are short. The streams are long, and the videos are short. They're about 4 minutes to 30 minutes ish, depending. I don't think there's many videos longer than that. And we cover everything from beginning FileMaker to much more intermediate FileMaker. So, with that all being said, I think we're probably good. All right, Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today. So today we do something interesting. I already talk about that, but a long time ago, like in 2016 or 17, something like this. So vertical schema design. So what it is not an invention of mine. It's existing in every single platform, every single, like let's say, program coding, like Java or whatever, C++. It exists in every single world. Okay. Vertical schema design. Okay. So what it is, let's say, okay, you have an example like I have here, right? You have an asset management. Okay. So asset management, you need fields for pretty much every properties of every single item. Okay, so what is the commonality between a screen and a coffee machine? Is you have an asset management in the company, so you want to know in which like let's say you have you have an office and you have 2 stories, right? And you have a coffee machine for 1 story, another coffee machine for the first, the second floor. You have your 2 or 3. You have chairs and you have computers and you have different computers. It can be a Mac, can be a PC, can be a screen, can be a laptop, right? Can be a phone. You can have phone. You can have cars. You can give a car to an employee, if he's doing something with a car, like a visiting customers, whatever. So you have a variety of items that is infinite, right? It's infinite. You can have chairs. I mean, you name it, right? Do you want to create a field for every single property? That's what you want to do. So you will end up like a friend of mine that has done this. He has 6,000 fields in one table, right? So do you want to manage this, right?
Not particularly.
No, you don't want to manage this. Now I have another application of this vertical design. The second is you have an invoice system. So far, yeah, we know the simplest way of doing invoicing, right? Invoice and items. One product, and let's say you have or 2 iPads at $499, $900, right? $1,000. So that's what we have, and you have the total. But imagine that you have a invoicing system based on items predefined, right? So you have itemized, but it's predefined. With each item, you have a calc, right? So you have multiple variety of invoice. You don't have only one type of invoice. So when you have a static invoicing system like this, not design, not definition, designation and quantity, price. No, not this. That means you get information from your system throughout all those do your table stuff like this, and you say, okay, oh, okay, we did it for you, boom, and then with this number, then we apply a fee, and then okay, but your fee type is this, and boom, 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 and then you have a sub, you do a calculation like this. Normally, what you do, you create fields with calcs to collect all the information. But this is the same thing, so if you have 10, 15, 20 different type of invoicing, do you want to create all the fields with all the calcs? Do you want to do that? No, you don't want to do that. So that's where the vertical design comes, right? The vertical schema design comes, right? So I'm going to show you I'm going to show you both ways to use the vertical system design, schema design. One, I'm going to give you the field, the file, right? The other one I can't, because it's part of a big, it's an invoicing system. You need to have, all the solution of the customer in order to work, because it's coming from all the paths. So with the file I'm going to send to you is the most simplest possible. So you will get the construction, the foundation, right? And then you can tweak it for other thing. It's very simple. The asset management to me was the simplest way first to understand, and then for you to understand it, demonstrate, right? And then to send to you, and then it's a good starting point for you, and then you can, deploy and modify it, and So the file I have is 10 years old, right? So it's not the latest design, but the concept there, right? I improve it since then, you can imagine. But even if you use the way it is now, it's clean enough, for you to get it. So here an example, okay, of what I was saying, right? So we have an asset management, and so we have let's say we have a computer with a workstation. So we have a workstation, and then this is what we have. This is the properties of a workstation, a particular workstation, right? So we can say, okay, this is a Windows machine, right? So this is a Windows server. So you have a product name, and you have the chassis type. It's a desktop or laptop, the CPU speed, the RAM, the manufacturer, and the product name, right? So this was based on my friend, the guy did that, right? So and then you have desktop and the CPU speed. You can see by the CPU speed that this is old. So RAM and so all of this are the properties, right? Are the properties of workstation, right? All of them. So then you have other properties. You have an iPad or tablets, right? This change. There's other properties, right? So there's cell number, but it's not mandatory. It's mandatory, but active status, and device ID, SIM ID, iPad, which cell carrier, which type, right? Imagine that proves you that is old. he still had BlackBerry, right? So the enclosure, and you have, of course, you have value lists attached to this, So you have different types of fields, different names of fields. Those are fields, right? They look like fields, right? They look like fields because this is a number. This is a text with a value list. This is a text with a radio button with a value list, right? This is a text, editing, value list, And sometimes I can say, yeah, but this need to be mandatory, right? 48, right? Boom. Now it's not red anymore. So I have on this field, I have a conditional formatting, right? Correct? Okay. So now I have a Linux server, which is more, that's much less information, different information. I have a firewall, right? So I don't know if that works. No, it wasn't working. Oh, yeah. Here I have, this is a firewalls. You have IPs, MAC address, stuff like this, right? So then you have a cell phone, right? Cell phone is different, right? So cell phone and iPad, that pretty much the same thing, but you have some differences. A cell hotspot, for example, right? That's different also with the capacity, and then you have they have Avaya phone number, phone stuff. So I don't know if I have an example here, but okay. So how this works, how this works, how I can get all these differences. So you imagine well that I don't have any fields. The fields doesn't exist. There's a schema, right? Outside of the schema. So you create fields out of records. So you convert a record into a field. So you use a record as a field, right? So how we see that on the no, it's not on the user, is on here. Okay, asset property fields. Okay, you have a matrix, right? You have a matrix and you say, okay, this is my matrix, right? And I want to create an asset type, right? So let's say I'm creating, I don't know what I can create, or a car, right? And then here I choose a type. So I say, okay, this is the first field. And I say, okay, this is a text field, right? And here, right, I'm going to say, this is a brand, right? And it's an edit box. Here you have all the type, right, of what this will be. Pretty much like you have normally on the layouts, right? Edit box, drop down menu, pop-up menu, radio button, checkbox, calendar, and you can even perform scripts. And then that will be later in the demonstration, right? So then you have here, you have a text, and then you say model, right? Which model it is, model. Okay, as in an edit box. And then here you have here current mileage, and this is the number, right? Then here you have a text, right? And you have color, right? The color of the car, right? Then you have, you know, a purchase date, for example. This is a date, and I want that to be a calendar. Then I want color, mileage, current purchase date. Yeah, I want the current I don't know, tire size. Let's say whatever tire size. And then you have another text here under chassis type, something like this. Okay, so I want this in 1, then I want this in 2, then I want this in 3, then I want this in 4, and then I want this in 5, no, 5 this, right? And I want this in 6 and this in 7, right? Boom. Brand, model, color, mileage, chassis, type, purchase date, right? So I have my car assets field creation. They all created. Here also, I'm going to do something special. I want the current date here as a parameter. And I want this to be mandatory, this mandatory, right? And this mandatory. That's what I want, right? So far, so good. So we're good with this, right? And so let's go to my asset management, right? And I have cars, and I'm going to create a new one with a car, right? And so this is a car. This is what I get. Ta-da! I have my mandatory fields, and I have all my stuff. And this with the current date coming. Okay, I have at least the purchase date, current date. I can change it. This is a calendar, right? I said this, I want this to be a date with a calendar. And this is a date field. It's a date field. It's a date field. It's not a text field. It's real date fields. And here, it's a date, it's a text field. But here, I said a number, it's a number field, right? Here, right? So now I can say, okay, it's the Ford, that my latest car I got in the US, gray. Gray, they said gray. Current mileage, 0 or 1,000, let's say, right? Chassis type is a pickup or truck, right? And the tire size, I don't remember what it was, 255 something, I don't remember. It was like a by or 18, inches. Okay, so now here, so I can say, so where's the name here? I don't remember. I don't remember where to put the name of the thing here. It's a car booking. Oh, here. Okay. This is a Ford. This is a Ford. Oh, I have the manufacturer. The item, I can say F-150. I don't know. Or let's say that's a corporate. It's a corporate truck. Let's say. Okay. Okay. So here you have this. I can create another one, right? And say my asset type is a car, right? So I'm creating the fields, right? And then is the, secretary commuting car, okay? Commuting car. And let's say, I don't know, it's a Chevrolet. I don't know, which model we can put here, I don't remember. Color black and mileage 15,000. Chassis type, it's a compact, right? And the tire size 195 by 15, right? And purchase date was last week. Okay, so which model you want me to put here in the
I don't know enough about cars.
I don't know. I don't remember. So I don't follow for years. I don't have any name coming in my.
I have no names. I'm bad about this. Sorry.
I don't know what you call your father has Chevrolet. Suburbans.
Suburban.
I'll say yeah.
There
Oh
we
yeah,
go.
this is not a compact. This is it's a van.
It's
It's a
yeah.
minivan. It's a minivan. It's a minivan. I don't know how they minivan. Okay, it's a minivan. Okay, so and it's if I remember well, it's a white one.
He never gets a car that isn't white, so you're
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. So yeah, I remember well. So okay. So we have our sets, right? Right. So in no time, I create out of the blue. I create a full asset properties out of this, right? Without creating any fields. I don't have no fields here. I have no property fields. I have status. I have, or, date, checked in and checked out. But this is for the asset management, who has the assignment, the location, the condition. But I don't have anything about, about the property management, about this, right? But this look like this, right? It's a portal, right? It's a portal, a mere portal with fields, right? So what you need to do here when you have this, right? So you have the matrix, right? So the matrix also, it's a table, right? It's a table where I have, this is my matrix, right? Property, I don't remember the names, property fields. Why? That my matrix, property items. Yeah, this is okay, this is my matrix, right? So that all what I have nothing else, right? It's very simple, right? So let's analyze what it is, right? So here the field's name, right? The behavior is where I put all those things, right? The behavior is this, what it is, right? I didn't call that format. I could have called that format, by the way, right? Because this is pretty much this here, yeah. Style. I could have control style, but it's a behavior as well because you can do more than this, right? You can do more than this. The parameter you saw that, right? You saw that I said right here that I wanted a parameter, right? And here I can put whatever I want from FileMaker. I can put whatever I want from FileMaker. Here I can put a FileMaker calculation. Here I put get current date, right? Right. But here I can say by default, I'm sorry to say to have some, by default I can put Chevrolet. Let's say in my organization we have Chevrolet mostly. So I can put that, I can put with, of course, with the quotes, because this is like being in the calculation dialog. This is a real calculation function, right? So it needs to be exactly like it is if you were in the calculation dialog. So you can put whatever you want here. So if I go there and I create a new one, and I say it's a car, Chevrolet by default, right? So, so here we can do whatever we want, right? So we can put whatever we want. It can also be a relationship, right? Because we can put whatever we want here, right? So we're going to explain that later, right? Later on. So do we have any questions so far?
Not at the moment. People brought up some other card model suggestions if you need another one at some point. But so they're watching and they're listening. So
Okay. So far, how it works, okay? So how that works. You see here, I defined the type of the fields. This is the type of the field. So this is all the field type. And you have one that is interesting. I can even have separator. So I can say I want a separator between 3 and 4. So if I put this in 3, right? Normally, it should. I made that better. I made that better. I have a better version of this. That if you do this, it will automatically set 4, 5, 6 like this. I can implement that for you if you want. But in this version I don't have. So this now, right? When you go to asset and I create a new one, right? This is how it comes. Boom. I have a separator, right? Here. So I have the colors, this property and this property. So I can make separators. I can put separators. So here we have all the type: text, number, date, time, and separator. So let's stick with this for now. Okay. So when you decide this, if you go to the matrix, so we have a matrix, right? So if I go to the property matrix, this is where I have all my properties. Okay, so this is a matrix, right? So let's put all of this. I said all of this. Oh, so let's see if I have all of them. Yeah, right. So I have all my all my stuff here. So right. So all of those asset type. For each type, I have or I have an ID here, but here I have the colors. So this is all for this asset type, right? So the asset type is this. So I have two tables. I have this table here where I'm creating the type, right? So this is asset type. Asset type. This is what I have. This, right? So the group, the order, the type, right? So no, this is. Let me see. I don't think it's this. The T106E. I don't remember which one it is. T106E. Asset type. Yeah, asset type. Okay. But the name, they came. He had some stuff. Yeah, the client had some stuff, and I didn't rename these fields. So here I have a record here. So let's see. Right. So let's go to the ATY type, asset type. Yeah. Let's open this if you want. So this is all my tabs. Okay. This is this. Right. And for each of them, so I have my car here, right? And I have 4 assets. So this table here, for each type, you create a type here, right? This comes with an ID, right? And this ID, I have items, and they're all related to this one. See, this one and this one the same. So I have this item, and here I said, okay, this is blank because it's a separator, right? I have the chassis type, the tire, the purchase, the color, I have all my stuff. I have the behavior, and I have the field type, edit box, text, number, text, date, text, separator, right? Active or not, mandatory or not, the order, and the parameters, right? So we have all the things here, right? So I can decide, for example, that, okay, I don't want tire size anymore. I don't want to delete it, but I don't need that anymore in my new one, right? So I can go to assets, and then I create a new one, and you will see it will go away, right? It will go away. See, it's not there anymore. But it still exists here. It still exists in the system in case you want to reactivate it, right? So you can active, deactive, make it mandatory or not. So now how this works. So let's dissect a little bit here. This is where it starts to be a little bit hairy, right? And so I want to, show you how it works. This was, imagine this, that I came with this only because FileMaker, Claris, whatever you want to call it, came with a feature, right? With a feature. And this is a feature. Let's go to the property. Let's copy that, let's copy that poll, right? I don't want to destroy it, and create a new demo form, right? And let's paste this into this, right? Because I'm going to dissect it and I don't want to destroy it. Well, without this invention of the object tree, this will have been a nightmare to build. But because of this here, this came completely, totally possible, right? So you can see here, of course, now you understand how that works, right? So I have different fields in this table here, the asset property items, right? So asset property items. Okay. Here I have different fields. Okay, different fields. First, the scripts, when I generate, I create a new asset and I decide this is a car. The script goes to the master, they go to the matrix and say, okay, I need all the records. I need all the records in the master for car. So this one, right? This, the F7C8. Get me all of this. Sort by the orders, right? Sort by this. Make sure that this is sorted, right? Because I want that to be presented that way. Export all of this in a file, in a CSV file, right? Go to the items, go to the items and import it, right? So maybe I shouldn't choose this one. Items. Let's look this one. It will be better. Okay. Right? And I said, okay, I want you to import these records into this table, right? So it's going to import this, right? And this for specific assets. I'm importing these fields here. And I know, so I export the matrix and I import from the record from the matrix, I import this, but in the right order, because I import them, I exported them sorted. When you import them, you import the sort order as well. So the sort order, you don't have to take care of it, because I'm exporting sorted in the text field, in the CSV, right, fields, right, in the spreadsheet. So when you import back, you import the sort order as well. So I don't have to take care of this. And here, right, I know the behavior, I know the field type, and the property and everything, right? Correct? And here I have the value import. That means what did I import there, right? So that means the value is the value when I import all of this. So I import the title, but I don't import the value. The value here came later. So let me explain this. So you export, you import. When you import, right, you import all what you have here, lending asset management data, all what you have here in the system, the parameter. So the field name go to the field name, the behavior go to the behavior, the type go to the type. And you import the parameters, right? You import the parameters, all of this, the whatever it is. And you import all of this in one unique field. This one, the value import. So what will happen? What will happen when you do this, right? Well, automatically, I'm going to put that here in import, and then I have a number field, a text field, a time field, and a date field. So pretty much I have all those, right? I could have timestamp as well, I could. It's not a big deal, but I didn't need it in that time. So it could also be a container. You could. So text, number, date, time. Date, number, text, time, right? So they are organized like this. But I import the data here from the scripts. And then I said here, evaluate import, right? So I imported data here, and then I said here to evaluate whatever is here. I have the same here for the date, right? And I have the same here for the time. And I have the same here for the text. So pretty much, if I'm here, right? And I'm importing things, I don't import here. I'm importing here, and then it goes here, right? For example, the get current dates got evaluated 4 times. Yes, I know. I could have optimized this, okay? Let's say to evaluate only if the field is date. If this is date, evaluate here. If this is text, evaluate here. You understand? I could have done that. I can show you how to do that. I can show you, but let's continue. And this is a date evaluated as a time. This is a date evaluated as a text. This is a date evaluated as a number, and this is a date evaluated as a date. Okay. So I don't care. It's okay. If I change this, for example, and if I change this, and I said get account name, right? This is what I get. Boom. So I have a question mark here because account name, doesn't make any sense to be. I mean, evaluate. I said I don't understand what it is. It's a date, it's a time, but we don't care. Okay, we don't care. We can optimize it if you want, but it doesn't matter. Why? I have the type here. So I'm importing one value here, one value here, and one value here. So the behavior, the field type, the property type, and this. That's all what I'm importing from the matrix. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the script, but so far I'm doing a demonstration. I'm exposing you the pieces of the puzzle, right? So now, thanks to this is unreadable. This is unreadable. We all agree, but we don't care because FileMaker get us everything we need here. So I have, these are dates. I have two types of dates. I have the edit box, normal, regular, and I have the drop-down calendar, right? So I have two types. I have the option. I have the option here because if I go to my system and I add another date here, you know, retired dates, right? And I want this to be a date, but an edit box, not a calendar, right? So I go there, right? I create a new, that will be a car. Now I will have two dates, right? Calendar, no calendar, but it's a date, proof of it. It's a date field, right? So that's why here I have two. Here in this group, so now you can see it's readable. I don't give a damn about this. Imagine that you have to deal with this, like without this, without this. Forget it. I mean, you can do it, but with a lot of Advil, Excedrin, or whatever you name it. So now you have the number field. We have the edit box. We have a drop-down list. We have a pop-up menu. We have the checkbox set, and we have the radio buttons, right? So we have different types, different behavior, right? Like I call behavior, right? So the date, we have this too. The number field, we have this too. And then for the text field, we have the same. The edit box, the drop-down, the pop-up menu, the checkbox, and the radio button. So we have all those, right? Of course, I don't have a drop-down calendar on text, and I don't have a drop-down calendar on numbers. Doesn't make any sense. I could add, if you want, if you need, you can add also, let's say, a drop-down menu for dates if you want. But in my case, I didn't need it, right? Or drop-down menu, or drop-down a pop-up menu, or a drop-down I mean, you can a drop-down menu. So you can have this if you want. In a date, you can have whatever you want. I didn't create it because I didn't need it, right? So now, all of this, I say, okay, first I have the group here, and I have a hidden state on each group. Say, okay, if the property item field type is not a date, if it's not a date, right, disappear. Don't show it. If it's not a date, I don't want it. If this group is not a number, right, don't show it. This is not what I want to show. If this group is not a text, don't show it. And of course, this one, the time, I have one type, so I don't have a group. But I say, if this is not a time, right, don't show it. So if I said here, this is where you decide it. So if, you decide here, correct? We are correct. So this is easy to understand now. So this, I have the first level of hidden states, hiding by group, text, number, time, date, whatever. Okay. Then I have a second row. I have a second state, a second level of hidden state. Okay. If this pass, then now you have to decide. If this pass, if that corrects, that means it's a date. So show it. Hide this one, hide this one, but show this one because it's a date. Then I have a second level and I say, okay, yeah, but what it is, it's an edit box. It's a drop-down calendar. Don't show it. Don't show this if the behavior is not a calendar. Don't show this if this behavior is not an edit box. Same for numbers. If this is not an edit box, well, don't show it. If this, but I have the first level of hidden state. If it's a field, then it will show that group. Within that group, I'm going to hide and show the one I want based on the menu, based on this menu, what it is, what it is. So this is the first group of fields, right? And then I have, but this is a name, is the same field. This is the same field. It's the same field with a different behavior. Like let's say if I copy this one, okay, it's the value number field with an edit box. If I copy this one, it's the value number field as a drop-down list. If I copy this one, it's the value number fields with the pop-up menu organized as is. So I have all of those I'm going to the same field, number, which I have the auto entry calculation that evaluate what I import, boom, and I get a number. But on the screen, I'm going to show in the portal the one field that is specific to the type I decide, number, text, date, whatever, and the behavior, right? So this is no brain to build thanks to this guy. So it was easy to me to create a first group, right? Let me destroy it, right? It was easy to me to create a first group of fields with the different, right, type. It was easy. So duplicate, and you put pop, right? And then to stack them like this. Sorry. What happened? Oh, to stack them like this, stack them, right? They'll stack. Why are they not stacked correctly? Oh, one is bigger. No? Oh, yeah. This one particular. So stack them here, right? And get this one here and here. Okay. So it was easy to do this, group them, and put the hidden state based on the type of fields. Oh, I lost it. But it was very easy, right? To do that, right? It was very easy. And then place it here. And then go to the next group and place it here. Stack them, right? Here. It was very easy. There's no, thanks to this, very easy, right? So now, when it's easy to me to display in the assets, right? So this is my matrix. When I go to the assets, I have my scripts. I'm going to show you the script. I'm creating a new one, right? So what does the script do? I open this. I select cars, right? So I'm going to open this scripts. I'm going to edit that script. So the script is 2785, right? 2785. So it's a script that performs on server, of course, otherwise too slow. Export, import, right? Okay, which ID, which asset I'm in? which record I'm here, right? So this is where I collect this because I want those records to be linked to that assets, right? Then which type it is, right? Which type it is a car. So I'm collecting the ID for cars because I want to select in the matrix, I want to select the record for cars. So this is to calculate how long it takes. Then I'm going to the asset property field. That means that the matrix. I look for the cars. I look for this ID, right? I look for this ID, the car, and active fields, right? Active. Then I export on the server as a CSV. Then I go to the items of the property item of my asset. I'm going to that table, right? I look, right, for the current ID. Look, I'm going there and I look for the current properties. If this asset has property, because I can say, well, this stuff here is no longer a car, right? It's a iPad. So you have this. So yeah, if you do that, right, I'm going to delete everything because you change the type. You decide this record here is no longer a car, right? So you will lose. If you do that, you lose all this for that asset. That's why I have this. If I have something, I'm looking for existing properties in that asset. If I have, I'm deleting everything. Then I import the new matrix. I import the matrix that I exported here, right? I'm importing all the records here. Of course, making here, I'm importing this. Of course, I'm making sure that I have all of those things happening. Auto entries, Then that's it. It's done because I don't need to set any fields. I don't need a bunch of set fields, set fields, set fields, set fields. Why? Because I'm using the export import system. Somebody less into this technique of exporting, importing would have said, okay, set variable, set variable, set variable, set variable, loop, 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 loop like this, right? When I export all the records and I'm importing all the records while doing, and that will be a webinar as well because I'm going to talk to March about it. I have 2 webinars coming up. Why not using loops? But I show you that on the loop, right? Did I show you that on the loop, Marge?
Import export stuff, yes.
Yes, but do you think we need to have a webinar based on this technique because could be nice.
Might be good just to have even for record's sake, so we can point people towards it.
Okay. So why the import technique is good here? Because I need to execute things. I need to do set fields. I need to set fields, but I don't need to set field with the scripts. The import gets a set field included. This is like a set field included. I'm executing cell numbers, creation timestamp, modification timestamp, lookups, and auto entry calculation. I don't know why they didn't put this here. Auto entry. You execute also all the auto entries right here. All those auto enter, auto enter, auto enter. I'm doing that while importing. So this will be processed, evaluated as you import. So I don't need any replace. I don't need any set field. I import and that's it, right? That's it. So the technique here is extremely simple. If you look correctly, I mean, I don't have any complications. It's very simple. You have records, you decide. So let's recap, right? I'm creating records here and decide, and I'm putting there, say, okay, this record will be the representation of the text fields with this label and this auto entry. So I could, instead of parameter, I could name that auto entry because this is what it is. Let me rename it, at least on the layout, right? Because this is the auto entry. It's not really it's an auto entry field. So here, pretty much, if you look really well, I replicated this. Instead of having this, and I couldn't even say global if I want. I could have said that. It doesn't make any sense, but I could have, So pretty much what I did is replicating this: the label, right? The type, right? The auto entry, right? Auto entry, and at the same time, I decided how it looks on the how it behaves, the formats, the type, on the layouts, what they do, if they're numbered, if they are edit box, whatever. So pretty much I replicated all what we can do for fields, right? For a field, but it's not a field. It's a record that I'm going to declare, I'm going to use as a field. I'm going to use a record as a support to create a field with all the benefits and all the options and everything of a field, right? So that's why here, when it looks, right? When you look like this, it looks like this. Numbers, and I have, correct? So it's not I'm not saying don't use schema anymore. I'm not saying don't use this. Doesn't make any sense. For this type of application where you have different thousands of and tens of thousands of different things like properties on an asset or invoiced or whatever name it, whatever you want, you can use this vertical schema design, right? So do we have any questions, Marge?
We do, but I'm actually going to ask them to you tomorrow because I have a meeting very
Yeah,
quickly.
so
So,
I'm right on time.
which I appreciate. So, no, this is very interesting, Nick. I do see people's questions. I'm saving them. Don't you worry. They'll be directed to Nick first thing tomorrow when we start our session. So, thank you very much, Nick. Today has been a
Thank you,
topic.
and see you tomorrow then.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye bye.